Hey guys, how's it going? Anthony Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for you all. Today I want to talk about being a versatile musician, particularly a versatile bassist. Now when I think about versatility, there's only one name that really comes to my mind, and that's Vinny Colaiuta. He's a phenomenal drummer who's played just about any style you can imagine. Yeah, actually any style, pretty much. And he not only plays these styles with taste, but it's contextually strong, the content in it. He doesn't step out of it. Maybe he does occasionally just to show he's Vinny, but otherwise if he's playing a rock gig, it's solid. It's just like what a rock drummer would play. He's playing a jazz gig, it's so authentic. It's the guy is just incredible. He's just phenomenal, and just I have no words to describe him. And needless to say, he's inspired me a lot as a musician, and I aspired for the longest time and still am aspiring to be a bass player version of Vinny, if that makes any sense. You want to be like Vinny too? Alright, so now there are a couple of pointers I'd like to share with you to develop a good sense of versatility. Now the first and foremost, and this is something I noticed in Vinny too, is to just have an open ear and mind. Try to have a sense of appreciation for any style of music, whether you dig it or not, because it's very easy to develop distaste for something and a taste for something else. But especially if you want to work playing music, being versatile is really on your side, because people won't hesitate to call you for a pop gig, neither would they hesitate to call you for a jazz gig or funk, fusion, R&B, reggae. Like, it doesn't matter what the style is, but if you are flexible in context and you have good sound as well, people won't hesitate to call you. So keep an open ear and mind in that regard. All right? And now that I mentioned sound is the second thing. Now, for instance, now if I have rolled up both my pickups, my tone is completely off. My EQ is all at 12 o'clock. Now, I could play a jazz gig, a walking bass line with this sound, but I don't like, it's got this mids to it, so I would use either the bridge or neck pickup in isolation. So this is just the bridge pickup with no tone again. Right, now just the neck. Lately I've been fancying this sound for walking. Now just the neck pickup with a little tone will give me a nice sound for Motown. I didn't touch the amp. I used what I have available to me on my instrument, put up a little tone, and then it just sounds pretty good. Now, of course, it can be a lot more authentic. I can just get a P bass and play that style, but I'm really trying to utilize what I have at my disposal and trying to get the best sound I can to fit whatever style I want to play. So now if I want to slap, I can slap with this sound too. This is a very old school. I'm not great at slap. So if I use both the pickups, I get a more new sound. Now when I use both the pickups, I put up a little more tone. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to project, because if I don't have any tone, it's very muddy, it's very nasal, but the tone allows it to cut through. Just the right amount. Now, I can use the same sound for, like, say, R&B Now if I completely roll off the tone again, I get this very dark sound, which could work if it can compensate for somebody else's brightness in the band. Now if I want to play fusion stuff, I could use the same sound too. Or just the neck picker. Now, something like reggae. Now, reggae is very interesting because it cuts through, but it doesn't have too much mids, so I can't really. Or so I'm going to cut the mids a little bit on my amp. Turn up the lows. Now that's a little closer to what I like for reggae. And this is probably also what I would use in a more Motown setting. So just the neck with the tone. I obviously didn't roll down the mids earlier because it is not too obvious that I had to do that, but when I chose to try to play reggae, I had to do it because to get that sound right. Alright, so I just explore all possible sounds with the pickups and whatever EQ you have on your bass, and then my amp settings as well. I just try to explore all possible sounds. Now, sound is one. Now the aesthetics of each style. Now in reggae, you will never find a bass fill that sounds like. You don't find that kind of a bass fill. So while you could do it if you have the freedom, but the aesthetics of that style, the context of that style doesn't require you to be that way. So I really love to study the context of each style, how each style works, and where I can throw what kind of lines. Now if I'm playing more like a funk thing, I can do a lot of fills, you know. That it could work there, but you have to be very how to say, you need to have a good taste of your note choices. You cannot just simply throw a bluesy pentatonic fill in every style. You can't do that in a rock song all the time. Sometimes in a rock song, all you have to really do is just or like that's Master of Puppets from Metallica, or there's another Metallica song. Now if I'm playing that and I suddenly do no, just big hell no, you're going to get fired. Right? So context and the aesthetics of each style is very crucial. But how far you choose to go with that is another thing. Like if you want to be able to play jazz, you have to make a choice whether you really want to spend time studying the soloing language as well. Now that is something I did. I spent a lot of time studying soloing in the jazz setting, and but that is purely a choice. You don't have to. I like to do that because I just wanted to be a complete package. I wanted to be able to solo like any horn player and burn it. At the same time, I want to be grounded in a reggae gig, a rap, hip hop gig, whatever, you know. I just really try to be grounded in everything I do as much as possible. All right, so yeah, so just to summarize everything, keep an open ear and mind. Sound of your instrument, your amp, whatever it is you play, the aesthetics of each style, and the context of everything you play. All right, and obviously the fourth one is how far you wish to take all of this or whatever you study. So I would recommend just listening to certain bass players, like, I mean, Nathan East and Abraham Laboriel are very popular for being versatile, but in my personal opinion, I don't find an actually versatile bass player who can sound like a legit guy for that gig, but that's actually not his thing, you know. Actually, one bass player that I really love as far as being versatile goes is Leland Sklar. Now that guy in my books is very versatile because he really gets the sound for each gig, which I love, because one thing I noticed with Nathan, Abe, Laboriel is their sound is the same. Now that's not a problem, that still gets them hired, no issues, but for me personally, I like to even try to get the sound right. So Leland Sklar is somebody I would really recommend. Will Lee is another guy I really like. Of course, you have guys like Pino Palladino who are very flexible as well. So I would really spend time studying session musicians actually, who have the ability to rip apart a bass line, but they will really hold their ground and just play to the artist. All right, but if I have to mention a name above all, it's definitely Vinny Colaiuta. Just watch anything the guy has done. He's recorded on Megadeth's The System Has Failed. The entire album is him on the kit. He played with Faith Hill, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Sting, Shaka Khan, you name it, any style, anything, anywhere, anytime, the guy's there. So do check him out and really try to absorb his ability to just play music, right? So I hope you got something out of this. Do subscribe to my channel for more lessons. If you have any comments, suggestions, lesson suggestions, whatever it is, do leave them below. And until then, I'll see you guys in the shed. Peace.